Political or cultural figures can be heroes to some and devils to others. If you see some of these figures as the incarnation of the devil, that can be a real problem, especially when these figures seem unavoidable in the media, where they become impossible to escape. I'm not here to pick a fight, but to state the obvious, all of this causes stress, and the stress is harming people. The world's solutions are inadequate. Two of those solutions are avoidance, psychological avoidance, and another solution is ridicule. Both of these approaches have their downsides. As to avoidance, one can pull the covers over one's head, but the monster is still there. As far as mockery, as far as ridicule goes, they tempt a person to continue to focus on the thing that produces the anxiety. People learning to pilot motorcycles are taught that when they want to avoid a road hazard, they must not look at the road hazard, they must look at where they want to go. Because if they look at the road hazard, there's a tendency to drive right into it. There are scholars of the Hebrew Bible who speak of the prophetic imagination, and that's the ability to imagine a better world, a more godly world. The problem with focusing on what disappoints us about the world overmuch is that over time, we lose the ability to imagine a better world. We lose the prophetic imagination that it takes to take steps toward making the world a better place. And that's one of the reasons, certainly, that Jesus Christ urged people not to worry, as when he said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring worries of its own. Today's trouble is enough for today." But there's that old saying, it's impossible not to think of something. It's better to try to think of something else, and that's where the Apostle Paul becomes very helpful. And Paul says, "Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication. With thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God." And a little bit later he writes, "Finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." It's important to take our resistance to the world out of the realm of pure thought, because as Jesus said, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you." We ask by prayer. We seek by study. We knock by action in the world. And that, my friends, is to build our houses upon a rock. I am not making this video to gore anybody's political ox, and I'll prove that by closing with a reference to 1 Timothy, where Paul invites Timothy and the people under Timothy's guidance to pray for kings, to pray for those in authority, to pray for those in power, so that they, Christians, could live in peace and in tranquility. God may choose through those prayers to change for the better the person about whom Christians pray. But certainly, in praying in that way about persons whom we might otherwise consider our enemies, we are proving ourselves to be sons of our Heavenly Father. And by putting our faith into practice in this and in other ways, we receive God's inoculation against the hatred that destroys a soul.